Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Ask Meditation on the reappearance of the Christ, the preparation for that great event. Well, we have to say, at least in America, this is Thanksgiving Day. And the attitude of gratitude is, says Master Moria, the way to achieve the best fires. He says that with gratitude you have the best fires. Now, perhaps there are many in the United States, well, certainly they're getting ready now for a big day, but there are many who do celebrate indeed, and it is a joyous time for them. There are other people who look at the American Thanksgiving in a different way, because it has meant for them privation and divestment of what was previously their own and of their homelands. And the Native American people were driven from the East Coast East Coast of the United States out to the West. Now, the history of the presence of these people probably dates from Atlantean times, when the what is now the United States was considered the center of the old major Atlantean continent. I know it's a peculiar thought, but they were driven back by Europeans who felt they had a certain manifest destiny to live in a new land. Well, it wasn't new, and they were not the first to explore, but their mindset was often rather narrow, and that is what happened. Now, when it comes to the people who were brought to this, to the United States as slaves in the notorious slave trade of the 17th, 18th centuries, maybe some of the 19th too, they also have a different attitude, because it seems that the people who rejoice and give thanks are those who have, in many cases, not all, but in many cases, abused others so that they could have the freedom and the luxury, we might almost say, to give thanks for their possessions. And many of those possessions, as I've said, were actually in a way misappropriated One could almost use the word stolen. We don't know what the Manu's plans were for that great emigration which occurred and corresponding immigration. It may have been part of the divine plan. It may have been karma involved. It often is. But still, today, when Americans, let us say, celebrate their Thanksgiving, they have to be aware of those who have been divested of their own area or living space, and those who have been forced in earlier times to labor as slaves. So things are changing, I would say, in terms of how to regard this particular holiday. But there are so many people who are, let's say, very sincere and full of gratitude for that which of which they are now stewards, let us say, caretakers, and they are realizing that this Thanksgiving has to be shared widely. And so they extend their thoughts, their sense of gratitude to others for whom the Thanksgiving holiday is not really part of their culture. And that's what I'd like to see us do. I know Americans right now are very busy preparing for that feast, which seems to show abundance, and so, you know, they may be involved in that and not here on this particular program, but I just, on behalf of all of those who feel the deep gratitude, I would like to see it extended to those for whom the Thanksgiving Day is not part of their culture. And yet, the attitude of gratitude, the general attitude of gratefulness, of thanksgiving, is something that can and should accompany our consciousness, our observation of the life process. And I think, let me say that we owe, excuse me please, the greatest debt of gratitude to the Christ, the Lord Maitreya, at least among the human family, for all the sacrifices that he has made, sacrifices of such depth that we can hardly understand, so that humanity and the lower kingdoms would be uplifted. And so even some of the higher kingdoms, like the kingdom of souls and the hierarchy as a whole, would be uplifted towards its higher destiny or destination. So before we get into our standard discipleship in the New Age meditation for the preparation for the reappearance of the Christ, let's just have a few moments of silence as we extend our gratitude to the Lord Maitreya, giving great thanks. And of course, if we think deeply, our gratitude also goes to certain of the creative hierarchies, the triple flowers and who are the lesser builders, and the second and first creative hierarchies on the cosmic physical etheric plane, the divine builders and the divine flames, and of course to Sanat Kumara himself as an extension of the planetary logos. I mean, we could extend our gratitude far. We could, if we were capable, offer our gratitude to the residents of Shambhala in the Great Council. On the logoic plane, and we could offer, even if we could fathom it, that's the whole problem, if we could fathom gratitude towards the solar logos. Can we do that? And of course, if we had the breadth of mind and the depth of mind, that gratitude would be fundamental and extend to the whole range of beings, including the ultimate being of any solar system, the universal logos of that solar system, or rather universe, let's call it, because that would be correct. I think we need to know how it is in the great chain of hierarchy, how it is that we are helped, because indeed every entity who has gone forth from the universal logos is eventually retracted along the line of emanation back to identification with the great universal logos. So much of it is beyond our ken, but even the beginning of gratitude towards our hierarchical teachers and show hands and seventh degree show hands, all of that is a beginning of cultivating within ourselves the right attitude. So let's enter our meditation. We pretty well do this now every 2 weeks because we have many different kinds of programs that are meant to blend together and give something, some idea of the supreme science of contact, which is always operating. So we begin by breathing in the white light, it is true that some prefer darkness. I've seen it myself so many times. Preferring darkness to light, but in time that will be corrected. And we visualize the flow of love and goodwill passing between the members of our triangle or triangles. We are working as co-disciples in the light. We achieve a positive and intended personality quietness, and then we begin to ask these questions, which to which we respond in our own